Shinobis who fight well in Naruto aren't always as brave as they should be. As a character in the Naruto series, being brave or not in a battle is a must. People in Naruto are trained fighters. They find themselves caught up in a war. They wouldn't be able to make it through the events of the series without being brave and skilled. Some of them actually don't. It could be hard for some fans to tell if someone is reckless or confident. Konohamaru, for example, is very quick to get into fights that he doesn't know how to win during his childhood. He isn't brave, but he thinks he can do more than he can. In the same way, Orochimaru is one of the best shinobis in the series, but he isn't brave either because of all his work is based on his fear of death. On the other hand, these bold shinobi show what it means to be truly brave in the world of Naruto. In this video, we'll be talking about 10 of the bravest ninja in the Naruto series. So before we start, please hit subscribe and hit the notification bell to receive all our latest videos. Now let's start. Number 10. Choji. Like Hinata, Choji isn't very well known. His friends don't think he's smart as his teammates, and he's a little more fun-loving than they are, so they don't think he is. Even Ino believes he's just a teenage boy who pays more attention to food than he does to her and Shikamaru. His love of food isn't the only thing that makes him good at being a shinobi. During the Sasuke recovery mission, Choji shows how brave he is when he agrees to stay behind. The other members of the team can then go on their own. When Shikamaru tells Choji about moves that could hurt him, Choji doesn't listen. Instead, he goes on to protect his friends anyway. One of the people on his team, Asuma's body or the reanimated, has been brought back to life, and he is the only one who can stand up to him.
Number 9.
Asuma. If Asuma makes Shikamaru braver, then it makes sense that he should be in the most spirited group too. Many people think Asuma is just confident in his abilities when he is out in the field. On the other hand, the audience comes to know the truth about Shikamaru's sensei at some point. He doesn't fight for himself when he thinks he can do something. Asuma is ready to say goodbye when he fights. His job is to protect his student from death, and he does everything he can to do that. He even takes the worst of the fight himself. When Asuma dies, he gives up his own life so that the next generation can be even better than him. This is the philosophy that he shares with Shikamaru. Number 8. Naruto. Many people think Naruto is brave, and of course he is the protagonist of the series. However, he learns how to be brave over time. At first, he doesn't want to fight stronger people or stand in the middle of the fight and not fight at all. This is because he doesn't have a lot of experience. It's because Naruto is so open and friendly that he thinks everyone is like him and deserves a chance to make a friend or get a second chance at something. Some of the people he tries to talk out of the fight are still going to try to kill him, even if after he talks to them. As he gets older, he knows that, but there are still many people who are braver than him. Number 7. Jiraiya. Jiraiya doesn't seem like the kind of shinobi who takes anything seriously. Why? Because he spends his money on drinks and women, and also spends the money of his students. On the other hand, Jiraiya spends most of his adult life and in a potential enemy territory, like what happened with the Pain arcs. When he travels, he says he is writing his books. In his career, he has written a few novels, but he spent most of his time sneaking into enemy territory and bringing back information to Konohagakure. This is what he does. He knows how dangerous his job is, but that doesn't stop him from going out on his own to look for enemies. When he meets up with his former student Pain, he dies. Number 6. Shikamaru. It's not because Shikamaru cannot handle it, but because he is lazy. However, his skills and abilities to think on the fly make him a great fighter and team leader as he grows up, making him even better. It would be great if Shikamaru wanted to be a Hokage as an adult. He would never put his name in the ring for it. Shikamaru shows his bravery in the field several times and repeatedly in the show. During the first mission that he leads, almost all of his friends are in critical condition. After he learns from his mistakes, he plans better for when things go wrong. I don't know how he does it, but Hidan, for example, isn't going to stand in his way. Number 5. Rock Lee. Rock Lee is one of the best hand-to-hand fighters in the show. To train, he turns hanging out with friends into fights of strength. This makes him a formidable opponent. However, when it comes to skills, there aren't any that he can use on his own. There are many things shinobi learn in school that he cannot do, unfortunately. He can't make shadow clones or walk on water. Many of his classmates have more power than him, but that doesn't stop him from going to the gym. It also doesn't prevent him from going out on missions on his own to save his friends from danger, to fight someone with more raw power than him, like for example Gaara. As a result, like his sensei, Guy, he simply doesn't care. Number 4. Kakashi. Many backstories are given to Kakashi, one of the few teachers in the series who has a lot to offer. People learn a lot more about him through flashbacks shown in the series and the movies. As a child, he is the prodigy and a very cocky fighter. He fights on his own because he is overconfident, not brave. This happens when he becomes more mature and understands how important it is to work together and how painful it is to lose somebody you love. Kakashi becomes a teacher even though he wants to stay away from everyone in Konoha. He grows to care about his students, so he puts himself in the way of them getting hurt. He even fights Madara Uchiha, even though he thinks he won't make it through the fight. Number 3. Hinata. So many people don't know how good Hinata is. Her shyness and kindness are often seen as flaws by her peers in the school. However, they tend to forget how dedicated she is to become a well-known shinobi in her town, especially in her clan. She is always told that she isn't strong enough or good enough, but that doesn't stop her. Hinata works very hard to be on the same level as most of her friends. It's like Rock Lee, Hinata also stands her ground in the face of a bigger and stronger opponents. Just like Rock Lee, Hinata is the only person who fights for Naruto at first, even though she knows she cannot fight someone like Pain. Hinata is the only one who fights for Naruto at first. She is always put in the middle of people and their enemies to protect them or even give them a little extra time. That's very brave of her. Number 2. Itachi Uchiha. I think he needs no introduction. Itachi Uchiha has one of the weirdest character arcs out of all the Naruto shinobis in the saga. The audience thinks he is a bad person because he killed everyone, including his entire family, except for his younger brother, Sasuke Uchiha. The truth is that the massacre was all part of a bigger plan to keep his little brother safe. Itachi spends a decade working with people he dislikes. Even though he has his own hidden goal, he isn't the most powerful of them all. Even though he has Uchiha blood, his life is very risky because everyone in his village thinks he is a bad person too. Itachi shows a lot of bravery by trying to keep his little brother and his village safe from afar, even though he has a target on his back. Number 1. Guy. The Might Guy, Rock Lee's teacher, is the person who taught him how to be brave. In the same way as Lee, Guy doesn't have the same abilities as most shinobis. He also doesn't back down from a fight like Lee. Guy is the one who fought against Madara Uchiha by opening the forbidden jutsu, the 8th gate. Even though he knows it could kill him, he was willing to give up his life to save the shinobi world. Do you agree with our picks? Write below in the comments your top 10, and do not forget to subscribe, like, and comment your suggestions on the coming topics. Until then,